Forward, Bronco Zagota, who drilled home his first goal to the playoffs, and it was 2-0 Sockers. They stretched their lead to 6-3 on a goal by Paul Dougherty. But what happened next will go down in Comets history. Here's Boosk on the left side, feeds in the corner. Tasso Kutsoukas out in front, looking for Dale Mitchell. Here's a shot and a score! Jan Goossens from the right wing. Green to Mitchell. He scores! Jens Boosk. Jamar Heddick. Chips it far side, headed out in front, headed in! Dale Mitchell! On the header out in front, our game is tied at 6. Heddick off the sideboards, goes wide, the shot, the goal! Pato Heddick with a rocket! On the wing right side, Tasso Kutsoukas. Tasso, left-footed shot, he scores! Tasso Kutsoukas, and look at the Comets bench, they pour off the bench. Another shot and a goal, Jens Boosk! After scoring 6 goals in less than 11 minutes for a 9-7 victory, the Comets' confidence level is soaring. And tonight in Game 4, they'll try to end this best-of-5 series by sweeping the defending champions in their own arena. Live from the Sports Arena in San Diego. Hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Wall, along with former Comets team captain Clive Griffiths. And tonight, an important game for both teams. It could be over for the 5-time indoor champions, San Diego Sockers.
That's correct, Kevin. The Comets got an excellent opportunity here to take the series. But don't forget, San Diego are a very, very formidable opponent. All week long, we've been hearing in the media up here in San Diego about the discontentment in the San Diego organization at this point. I think that's going to give our guys a lot of confidence. I think the psychological battle is probably over as far as the Comets are concerned. I think they definitely have an advantage there. But remember, this is the same San Diego team that faced a similar situation last year in the playoff series against Minnesota. They were down 3-1 and came back to take the series. But still, an excellent opportunity for the Comets tonight.
You know, the Sockers could well be wary of Kansas City. You look at the scoring leaders, the statistical leaders in the playoff series, and you look at that. Goossens, Heddick, Mitchell, Kutsoukas, nobody from San Diego is in that top 4. Meanwhile, the stats for the series, I'd have to think one key ingredient, the power play statistics, 6 of 10 for Kansas City.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job, Kevin, and I think all season long the power play has been very, very effective. And every time they go out there, they're looking like they're going to score a goal, and that's a great situation for Dave Clements, the coach.
All right, let's take a look at the remaining playoff picture. Tacoma and Wichita, that series is over. The Stars won it 3-2. The winner of the Kansas City-San Diego series plays the Tacoma Stars. In the Eastern Division, Cleveland and Minnesota, that series tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 coming up on Tuesday. Baltimore and Dallas. Dallas an important overtime win over Baltimore this afternoon. Baltimore still leads that series 2-1. So there you have it. The playoff situation is set. The Comets with an opportunity to close down the 5-time indoor champion San Diego Sockers. An important game tonight. Both teams essentially approaching this as a 5th and deciding game.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. Again, you know, there is concern in the San Diego camp, but the Comets just with an excellent opportunity here. You look on the guys' faces that they came in the stadium tonight. They're very tense. They understand the test that is ahead of them, and they realize what a big game this is going to be. They don't want to go back to Kansas City on Wednesday, play the game. They want to go to Tacoma.
So there you have it. It is Game 4, the MISL Western Division semifinals, and we'll come back with the opening kickoff right after this. This is Tim Lawicki. I know nobody wants to look past Game 4, but obviously the fans back home in Kansas City want to know what the situation is. A possible 5th game, when would that be? And if the Comets defeat San Diego this evening, what happens then?
Well, if we defeat San Diego this evening, Kevin, we come home at 12:30 tomorrow at the Eastern Terminal. We're in for the night. We leave Tuesday morning. We'll play in Tacoma. We play Tacoma Wednesday, Friday. We will come back for Game 1 on Sunday. Anyone that purchased tickets at the outlets for the 5th game could redeem them for Game 1 plus an extra $1.
All right, Tim, we will talk with you a little bit later on in the telecast about that very situation. We're ready to kick it off. The referees, Marty Templin, Herb Silva, and we are underway. Brian Quinn off the kickoff across the midfield line. Ahead it comes, Julie B, poked away from him by Ian Frazier. As you look at this series, very, very important, the fact that Kansas City has held down the Big 2, if you will. Here's Alan Mayer knocking the ball away. Here comes Crow to Zagota. He scores! Bronco Zagota from Kevin Crow, and it is 1-0 San Diego.
And the Comets there, Kevin, just had a little bit of a problem clearing the defensive zone there. Alamea came out in the ball and ended up on the floor and didn't get a good kick to get it out of the danger zone. And then you'll see Zagoda taking the right-footed shot and into the back of the net.
Well, you have to look to the big players in a big game like this, and that's what San Diego is doing. Zagoda, the right foot, just inside the post.
Yeah, and that's Franco Zagoda with 2 goals and 2 assists in the last game, and here tonight getting off to a great start.
Comets will kick it off. They fell behind early in game number 3. The Comets still very confident along their bench.
And that's right, Kevin. After that game and game number 3, a tremendous comeback by the Comets. There's no way these guys are going to get down about that.
Zoltan Toth in goal. The ball knocked back into the San Diego zone by Dale Mitchell. Toth with it there. Toth, a record of 13-10 in the playoffs. 0-1 so far. He allowed 2 goals in just 5 minutes in game number 3, replacing Jim Gorsuch. Now Carlos Milian inside his own line for San Diego. We've moved through 1 minute of the first quarter. Now the ball dumped into the San Diego zone, and a foul coming up against Tim Clark as he shouldered Hugo Perez. Great to have you with us here for game number 4. A lot of soccer still to be played. Now the ball muscled into the Kansas City penalty area. Dangerous play the call against Perez.
Already, Kevin, I think we can see the tactical play that San Diego has gone into this evening. I think last game they probably felt that they got stretched out and had no midfield, so they're basically playing with 1 guy up on top of the arc, on top of the box, and the other 2 midfield players drop right back in close to the defenders.
Here's Tasso Koutsoukas bringing it off the boards. Quinn, though, knocks it all the way back into the crowd behind his own goal. And the ball will belong to San Diego. Last touch by the Comets. 1 key substitution in the 15-man roster for San Diego tonight, and that is the veteran Diego Pesa replacing the youngster Paul Dougherty.
Well, that's one, Kevin, that I'm a little bit confused about that move. I don't understand why Dougherty would be out of the team. He's a good little worker. He's a good guy to have on your bench to come in a clutch situation. And Diego Pesa hasn't had the greatest of seasons, so a surprise move by Ron Newman.
Ball is played into the Kansas City zone. Zagoda backs it off to Perez. 1-0 San Diego. 13-10 to go first quarter. Clavijo plays it into the Kansas City zone, knocked away by Espinoza. Here's Ficus with it along the board. Charlie Ficus tries to clear it out, held in by Clavijo. Fernando Clavijo, the drive, he blasted it wide with the right foot. Now Marhetic on the dribble. Marhetic, long feed, finds Tasso Koutsoukas. Ball tough to handle, he goes to the corner. Here's Tasso double team, but plays it off the boards, and Toth is there. Pesa with it. 4 men back for Kansas City. Pesa to Quinn. Clears it far side to George Katakalidis. He knocks it back into the midfield. Now Zagoda has 3 men to beat. Does momentarily, but Ficus came back to knock the ball away.
Excellent foot skills there by Franco Zagoda, but he was in a lot of heavy traffic. 4 defenders back there for the Comets.
Here come the Comets running the other way. Ficus shouldered down by Franco Zagoda. And we get a foul, and Zagoda with some words for referee Marty Templin. Marty says that'll be enough of that.
I think Franco already, Kevin, he's showing that he's come out here for business tonight. He's thrown himself around in all areas of the field.
Well, it's do or die for San Diego. Long chip up across 3 lines will get a red line violation against San Diego. You know, you look at the difference between Dougherty and Pesa. The difference really is 8 years. Pesa 28, Dougherty just 20. And that really the difference, I think. Ron Newman wants to get all the experience on the field he can.
And a totally different style of play it also, Kevin. You know, Pace's an out-and-out forward, strikes the ball well at both feet, and Dougherty's a buzzing midfielder.
Goosen's trying to turn on George Katakalidis, but Toth comes up with a loose ball. Tosses it ahead, Zagoda, long feed for Wilrich. He's open. Here's the shot. He scores! Gene Wilrich on the beautiful feed from Franco Zagoda. It is 2-0.
Well, that's Franco Zagoda off with the same type of start as he had in Game 3. I think on the replay here, you see that Gary Collier maybe got caught with the forward getting in behind him. Again, you can't let a forward get in behind you like that in the offensive zone. And Gene Woolrich, you only need to give him a half a chance, never mind a whole chance. Tucks it away beautifully here with the left foot. Alan Mayer does all that he can do. He comes out to try and narrow the angle, but Woolrich with a tremendous left-footed shot into that near post.
So the Comets are going to call timeout here with the 11:49 to go first quarter. The San Diego Sockers lead 2-0.
And the San Diego Sockers led the game on Tuesday night at 2-0. So this is probably a good chance for a timeout for Dave Clements to get him settled down, just remind him of that fact.
The Comets along their bench. Dave Clements with some words of wisdom. Well, the Comets fell behind early on Tuesday and came back to win, but boy, you just hate to give San Diego any advantage, in particular in this building where, despite the loss, they're still 21-2 in this building in the playoffs.
And again, we take a look at the Gene Woolrich goal. It was a picture-perfect pass by Zagoda, beautifully paced pass. The guy run onto it nice casually and hit the ball with a great left-footed shot.
You know, San Diego probably among the best first-time strikers of any team in the league. They have so many people that can play it. They can play half volley, full volley. They can play it anywhere, and they can put it on goal, and usually past the goalkeeper.
Yeah, very, very talented team, Kevin. That's why, you know, you don't like the San Diego. We had opportunity on Tuesday to come back, and you can't, you know, bank on coming back against San Diego every game.
Well, now the Sockers with their running unit out there, Jacques Ladouceur, Chacha Namdar, Brian Quinn, along with Clavijo and Ilian. And you don't think there's some speed out there now? Tuesday night, the score was 2-0 at 3:14. Now it is 2-0 at 3:11. Ball is centered right through the goal mouth. Nobody home for Kansas City. Mitchell has it, though. Retains possession. Loses it now along the sideboards to Brian Quinn. And Quinn will try and run it out. Now he loses it to Goosens. Goosens to Mitchell on the right side. Knocked away by Brian Quinn. Here's Goosens going into the boards hard with Quinn. Now tripped up in the corner and will get a call against San Diego. Goosens was looking for a 2-minute call. Gets a common foul from Herb Silva.
San Diego players very aggressive on that play. In fact, three of their players in on Jan Goosens at that time.
Well, the fans really getting on Cacho. Here's the shot by Cacho with a left foot blocked by Chacha Namdar. And Cacho sends it all the way back down the field to Alan Mayer. He chips it into the midfield. Comes down. Goosens heads it into the San Diego zone, headed towards the San Diego goal. Clavijo did not see that Mitchell was between himself and Zoltan Todt. Now Ladouceur on the run, bangs along the boards along with Charlie Green. Green feeds into Mayer, who's run down by Hugo Perez in a 2-minute call coming up against San Diego.
I think, in all honesty there, Kevin, I think Alan Mayer actually drew that 2-minute call out to the referee. As we take a look at the replay here, it's Charlie Green that pushes the ball back to Allen. He's under control of the ball, runs in. And I think, to be honest with you, Allen probably made a little bit of a meal of that one, but got the 2-minute call.
Here it is again, and again Perez, one of the most penalized men on this team.
In fact, it almost looks like in that replay like Perez was doing his best to hold himself up.
Charging the call at 4:04, and don't forget, the Comets 6 of 10 on the power play. Hugo Perez.
There used to be a player, Kevin, that played in the old NASL days called Rodney Marsh that was king of the swan dive. I think Alan Mayer could be in contention for that at this point.
Crowd coming to life here, trying to urge on the penalty killers of the San Diego Sockers. Comets will go with Marhetic, Kutsukas, Goosens, Mitchell, and Ficus. On the right side, it's Goosens. He tried to center it, knocked away by Kevin Crow. Marhetic will come back to get it. There you get a look at the power play efficiency. The Comets uncommonly good on the power play. Marhetic on the left side. Kutsukas. Here's Goosens. He settles, gets the shot away. Blocked by Kevin Crow. And he dumps it back, headed down by Alan Mayer. 1:25 to go in the power play attempt for Kansas City. Sukas lurking down along the far post. Here's Goosen, centers in front, right to the goal mouth, in fact. Cleared away by Fernando Clavillo, and Alan Mayer has it for Kansas City. Now down to 1:09 to go in the power play attempt. 3 fouls against San Diego, 1 against the Comets. Tasso Koutsoukas, left-footed shot, blocked up into the crowd, and let's see who touched it last. Soccer deflected it up into the crowd, and we'll get a kick in Kansas City with just under a minute, 59 seconds to go in the power play attempt. Don't forget the Comets return home tomorrow. Win, lose, or draw, they'll return home to Kansas City. And I know a lot of fans would like to meet the club at the airport. They will be arriving at Eastern Airlines at 12:30 Kansas City time. Flight 324 from San Diego. So hope you'll join us at KCI tomorrow. Here's Mitchell moving into the San Diego zone against Chacha Namdar. Back heels it to Marhetic. Right side, Goosen. Goosen's the shot wide of the net. Carries back to Marhetic. 36 seconds to go in the power play. On the right side, it's Goosen's. Goosen's the shot blocked by Chacha Namdar. They're taking away the shot of Jan Goosen. Now Marhetic run into the boards. Here's Quinn with it. Quinn, near side, Clavillo. Clavillo stops. 20 seconds to go in the penalty. Clavillo along the boards. Now both players go down. Let's see, the foul will be against Kansas City's Tasso Koutsoukas. I think the crowd wanted a 2-minute call against Kansas City when Clavillo went down, but
right. With all due respect, Kevin, to Tasso Koutsoukas, you don't really want Tasso in your defensive third one-on-one against someone like Clavillo with the sort of speed that he has. So probably did what he had to do there, and that was bring him down.
San Diego will try and kill off the final 12 seconds of this power play. Toth in the penalty area, knocks it ahead to Quinn. He knocks it up into the crowd and right behind the penalty box area. And we will get a kick in coming up to Kansas City with just 5 seconds left in the power play. You can bet in the 5 days off, the Sockers work overtime to try and work out their problem killing off penalties against Kansas City.
And they've done a fine job of it so far, Kevin. They've been very aggressive, and obviously they know the strengths of the team now, and have worked on it very hard.
Here's Goossens, and hold everything. A call against Kansas City for a handball. Second foul of the quarter against Kansas City. Still 3 against the Sockers, and the penalty has expired. So both teams now at full strength. Sockers leading 2-0. 8:44 to go first quarter. Kevin Crow feeds the boards to Perez. Back it comes Kevin Crow. Long feed left wing, Julie V. V ties up along with George Espinoza. Goes down. Ball is cleared, though, by Gary Collier. Now Crow with it to the midfield. Stolen there by Dave Bonchek. And Bonchek leaves it for Jan Goosen. To Collier. To Tasso Koutsoukas. Now Tasso. Moving in against Perez, goes wide, feed towards the corner. Nobody home except Diego Pesa. He just dumps it to left of the field.
It's the old saying, Kevin, when in doubt, you just boot it out, and that's exactly what Pesa did right there.
Now Marhetic will attack against Julie V. They feed to Goossens. Knocked away from behind by George Katakalitis. There's Espinoza feeding into Alan Mayer. Back on the left side to Espinoza in his own zone. Shoots it ahead looking for Goossens. Give it up to George Katakalitis. Now Julie V backs it off to Hugo Perez. Perez pushing off with his right hand. Look how he does that. Gives him about, an extra 2-3 feet of space in which to work.
That's a wise head on them shoulders, Kevin. It's something you're always trying to teach the kids when they're younger, is to shield the ball with whatever part of the body you can.
7:22 to go first quarter. Long chip in the Kansas City zone. Headed high in the air by George Espinoza. And we get a whistle. And the ball cleared up into the crowd, and we'll get a kick in coming up. So a timeout on the field. 7:17 to go first quarter. I score. The Sockers 2, the Comets nothing. Back after this timeout.
My guest today is Niles McMaster, the world's smartest man.
Yes, I am. Niles McMaster here.
Who are
offers more than 30 banking services, including 4 ways to get free checking.
Commercial United Boat, Twain Bank.
Wrong. It's Blue Valley Federal.
Impossible.
You may be surprised, too, at all the services offered by Blue Valley. Blue Valley Federal, all you need to know about banking. Member FSLIC.
I knew that.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the Kansas City area, the message you're about to hear will open your eyes to a real value. Because this weekend at Boots Williams Ford, we've got a real value in 65 different ways. We're talking Ford Escorts. Yes, 65 Escorts. And we're talking prices starting at just $59.95 delivered. That's right. You can buy a brand new Escort for just $59.95. That's all you pay. We are serious. No gimmicks, no hassles, just...
It's back at the San Diego Sports Arena, where the Sockers have one of the best playoff records anywhere in any league. 21-2 at home here at the Sports Arena. And now, apparently, something going on along the bench areas as the crowd in front of us, apparently Crow and Newman were having some words.
Kevin,
got to keep an eye on that bench area.
That's right, and Kevin Crow has had a lot to say in the papers this week, Kevin, so maybe they'll be discussing some of them problems.
Ball is fed in out in front. Here's Zagoda trying to get a shot away, and Alan Mayer just took it right off his right foot. Long toss in the midfield. It bounces off the glass, the side glass, and back into the field of play. They're ruling that somebody along that penalty box area in the photo bay apparently touched it. So a kick in coming up to San Diego. Comets trail 2-0, 7:08 to go first quarter. Each team with 3 fouls. Ball played in. Clavijo dumps it into the corner. Ian Frazier knocks it off the boards for Charlie Green. He one-times it back into the midfield. Clavijo feeds back towards Zoltan Toth. Melian. Right puts it ahead, looking for Hermes, who has a step. Into the corner it goes. Here's Hermes bumping with Mayer. They clear it out along the boards. And here comes Charlie Green. Green on the run. Feeds to Mitchell. Mitchell draws a double team. Ball is knocked back towards the line, headed away by Ian Frazier. Here's Pikus on the right side to Mitchell. Gets past Wilrich, feeds in front. Oh, what a stop by Zoltan Toth. Charlie Green was on the doorstep looking for the open net, and Toth just swatted it away. Here's Zagoda at the other end. The shot blocked by Frazier. Now Frazier pushed down by Zagoda, and we get a foul for dangerous play against Bronco Zagoda. Sockers are playing like a desperate team tonight.
As we take a look here, Kevin, I think it was on the foul of Branko Zagoda. He actually pushes Ian Frazier down to the ground and then swings the foot through. Rather surprised that Branko went in with that sort of aggression right there. It's always a dangerous situation for Frazier being on the floor and being a little bit over-aggressive there, Branko Zagoda.
And a few words between Ian Frazier and Bronco Zagoda.
And rightly so, Kevin. I would be a very angry defender at that point if that happened to me.
That is dangerous play. When you're kicking around somebody's head. So the Comets will get the restart. That, by the way, the 4th foul against San Diego. Comets goalkeeper Alan Mayer, outstanding in the first 3 games. Jimmy Clark feeds to Cacho. He left foots it to Marhetic. Now Clark dumps it into the San Diego zone, headed out by Melian, and here comes Gene Wilrich. Wilrich moving in against Cacho. Now they back it off to Kevin Crow. 5:51 to go first quarter. Ladouceur, the shot wide of the net, rebounds past everybody. Sockers retain possession. Carlos Melian at the Kansas City red line, pushes it back to Crow. Now Wilrich with it. Shoots it ahead, looking for Zagoda, but right there Tim Clark, and here's Marhetic on the run. Marhetic slows it up, stop and go dribble. Feeds on the right side to Cacho. Cacho, crowd will boo. We'll tell you why in a minute. And we get a foul against San Diego for knocking down Cacho. Obstruction, the official call. Cacho went down with an injury on Tuesday night. Crowd thought perhaps he was faking the injury. Now here's a collision between Marhetic and Zagota. A little bumping. And the restart to San Diego.
I think the tone, Kevin, has been set for the rest of the game. This is going to be a very hard-fought, aggressive, tight game.
You get the feeling this is not going to be a finesse game tonight between these two teams.
No, there's too much at stake.
Kevin Crow on the left side, Diego Pesa. Pesa tripped up by Collier, and we're going to get a 2-minute call against Gary Collier. Diego Pesa goes down, and so the Comets will be a man short.
Yeah, I think on this tackle here, as the cameras will show, is probably a very well-deserved 2-minute call. Gary came in a little bit late and was swiping way too high and actually caught Pesa on the knee.
So the Comets will have to kill off this penalty with 5:02 to go for his quarter. Don't forget tickets for Game 5 on Wednesday night will be on sale tomorrow at all of the Capital ticket outlets and at the Kemper Arena box office. And I think until further notice, you just have to figure there will be a Game 5. Collier also assessed a yellow card for tripping. In case you're wondering, San Diego 2 of 6 on the power play. They connected on 2 of 3 in game number 3.
I guess Gary Collier at this point in the game, with the Comets being 2-0 down, wanted to make his mark on the game and let these guys know that they are going to be in a game tonight.
Hermez to Zagota. He'll quarterback the power play. On the left side, it's Wilrich. Wilrich to Perez, crosses it. Here's Zagota towards the penalty area, tripped up by Timmy Clark, and a tripping call against DC.
I think probably, Kevin, there is an accidental trip by Tim Clark. Nothing malicious about that tackle, but a trip is a trip.
And a 5th foul is a 5th foul. 5 against Kansas City, 5 against San Diego. Zagota will play it in. He fired it wide with the right foot. Now Perez with it into the Kansas City zone. Here's Wilrich sliding it in front, looking for Hermez. Julie V, the shot just wide, and it's controlled by San Diego. Now a minute 27 to go. Here's the shot. Oh, Zagota with a wicked shot with the right foot, and Alan Mayer just swatted at it. Here's Zagota again towards the corner, slides it in front for Wilrich. His shot deflected up into the crowd by Tim Clark. A minute 14 to go.
Well read by Timmy Clark there. Timmy Clark having a fine series, Kevin. He's played some great defense for the Comets. Read that shot very well.
Corner kick coming up to Kansas City. Zoltan Toth with not really much to do at the other end. Ball is played out in front. Zagota. Far side to Wilrich. Gene Wilrich from West Germany to Zagota. Back to Wilrich. He blasted. Big save by Alan Marin like a basketball center. He comes down with it and tosses it out on the right side. Here's Charlie Green dumping it into the corner. Comets will get a line change here. Bonchik comes on along with Espinoza. 5 fouls against each team. 6th foul means a 2-minute penalty. Now here's the go-to right-footed shot. Oh, and Allen just got a piece of it. Leaping towards the crossbar. He got a piece of it and deflected it up into the crowd.
It's a blistering shot there by G. Mulrich, and every San Diego player on the field right now, Kevin, has that sort of potential. Hit the ball from long distances. In fact, it was Zagota that hit that ball.
Here's a shot. Perez on the save by Alan Marin. He just breezes it along the glass over the crossbar. Long distribution for Bonchik. Perez feeds into Zoltan Toth. 26 seconds to go in the San Diego power play. Gene Wilrich slides it near side. Perez just inside the line. He leaves it for Zagota. Back to Perez, to Zagota up top, just inside the line. His pass deflected away by Tim Clark. Now they feed far side to Wilrich. Back it comes Zagota. 8 seconds to go in the power play. Bronco Zagota. Near side, Perez crosses it. Here's a shot by Wilrich. He couldn't get anything on it. And the ball is cleared out by Tim Clark. And here comes Collier with a breakaway. Out of the penalty box, Collier miskicked the ball. Got it a little bit ahead of himself, and it's cleared back up onto the Comets bench by Zoltan Toth.
Well, understandably so by Gary Collier. That's probably been the first time this season he's been faced with that situation with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Not exactly a position that we want your natural defender to be in, but tremendous effort by Gary Collier.
Boy, what a feat, though, to find Collier streaking out of the penalty box. Ball will be played in. Comets penalty has ended, but both teams now with 5 fouls. Here's Mitchell along the near wing boards. Dale swings it far side to Cacho, and the crowd will boo. Cacho shoots it ahead to Goosens. Oh, Cacho the drive. Now Cacho couldn't control the ball. It's trickling into the penalty area, finally covered up by Zoltan Toth. Boy, Cacho, a wicked left foot.
What a fine effort that was. It was a great tap back by Jan Goosens and a tremendous first-time effort by Cacho.
Katakalitis tried to feed for Ladasur. Comets will try and break out of their own zone. It's poked away. Here's Namdar holding it in. Dumps it into the corner. And Alan Mayer has it. Bowling ball pass left side. Here's Cacho. Long feed. Headed to the corner by Kevin Crow. Mitchell tries to drag it out in front. Tripped up. No call on the play. Here's Quinn into the corner along with Jens Boost. Up along the boards to Jacques Ladasur. Oh, what a steal by Boost. Here's Goosens. He fired it wide. Rebounds near side. Marhetic ties up. Frazier holds it in. Now Marhetic on the right side. Comets pressuring. Here's Marhetic, the shot. Oh, just wide of the net. Rebounds in front. Goosens the drive. Blasted, but blocked by San Diego. Now Cacho keeps it alive. Namdar with it. Wants to feed into Toth. Can't. And finally, Katakalitis knocks it into his keeper. There's a pass for Brian Quinn. Now Marhetic has it poked away by Ladasur. Soccer's getting a line change here. Ian Frazier, the rookie, on the right side to Tasso Koutsoukas. Has to gain control. Tasso against Wad Hermes. Leaves it for Marhetic. Here's Marhetic moving in right side. Has some space. Marhetic feeds off the end board. Swatted away by Zoltan Toth.
Good idea by Patrick Marhetic to play it off the board, but I think Zoltan Toth had it read.
Now Namdar with under a minute to go in the first quarter, and the Sockers leading 2-0. George Katakalitis to Crow. His pass blocked by Tasso Koutsoukas. Crow gets it back. Now 36 seconds to go. Long toss into the midfield. Hugo Perez. Comets have to be careful of the 6th foul. Perez feeds far side to Pesa. Here's Pesa, the shot kicked out by Cacho, and it's dumped all the way back into the midfield. 22 seconds to go. We are in the first quarter at the Sports Arena in San Diego. Hugo Perez dribbling into the Kansas City zone. Perez steps on it with 10 seconds to go. Now dumps it near side to Pesa with 5 seconds to go. They feed to Hermes, tries to turn. He does the shot. Oh, and Alan Mayer, a brilliant save as the horn sounds ending the first quarter. So I score at the end of 1. The defending MISL champion San Diego Sockers 2. The Comets nothing. Back to the second quarter after this. Mere nothing short of sensational in this series. Watch Wad Hermes.
Yeah, it's a great turn by Hermes. He did well to turn on Cacho. Allen with a great save coming off his line, and at a very, very opportune moment there for Juan Hermes.
Sockers will kick it off. They lead 2-0. Game number 4 of the MISL Western Division semifinals. Should the Comets lose tonight, Game 5 at Kemper Arena Wednesday night. Team will arrive home at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon, Kansas City time. Comets have played well on the road this season, and they have won their last 3 road games.
And Kevin, this is the first time in the series that the Comets have not scored in the first quarter.
Here's Milian dumping it out to Clavijo. Now Julie V. V working on Charlie Green. Dishes it off. Zagota into the corner. Carlos Milian banks it off the glass. Knocked away by Gary Collier. And here's Zagota. Sockers keep the pressure on. Drops it back to Gene Woolridge. Sockers will regroup. Woolridge down the right side. Leaves it for V. His shot off the end boards. Charlie Green heads it to the near side boards, but controlled by V. He centers it out in front. Here's Milian. He blasted it up into the crowd of the volley. And he was wide open in the D. Baltimore lost to Dallas this afternoon 4-3, tattoo in overtime, winning it. That series tied at 2 games each. Game number 5 coming up Thursday night in Baltimore. Well, what a series that has been. Same way here, the Comets and the Sockers. Dale Mitchell pushes it back to Ian Frazier. The Comets on Tuesday night were at their best when they were playing one-touch soccer. They put together 10, 12 passes in a row. Here's Goosen speeding off the corner boards, but right there, Brian Quinn muscling along with Kutsoukas. Ball played off the boards. Here comes Chacha Namdar. Long feed for Quinn. Ladasur moving into the offensive zone with him. They look for Ladasur, but poked away by Tasso Kutsoukas. And here come the Comets. They'll slow it up. Tasso Kutsoukas leaves the ball for Marhetic, who's on the dribble.
When you talk, Kevin, about the Comets playing that one-touch soccer in the last game, you know that for this game, though, that San Diego's got a lot more respect for our players now in that situation and giving them a little bit more attention.
They muscle in the corner. Goosen speeds to Marhetic. Tries to slip it past Toth, but Toth right there, and the foul against Pato Marhetic. For pushing down Jacques Ladasur. Comets will get a line change here. Bikus onto the field for Kansas City. Out Pro feeds far side. George Katakolidis dumps into the corner. Brian Quinn bumping along with Jimmy Clark, but the ball trickles into Alan Mary, rolls it out to Charlie Bikus in the midfield. Bikus draws a double team, working his way along the board. Now tripped up by George Katakolidis. No call on the play. And the Sockers take over with 12:32 to go in the second quarter. The Sockers leading by 2. By the way, game 5, if it is needed in the series, will not be televised. They'll have it along the Comets radio network beginning at 7:15 on Wednesday night. And we get a whistle and a foul against Kansas City. Comets don't like the call from Dr. Herb Silva.
That was a very difficult situation right there, Kevin, for a defender. He's in the box. You can't lay off the guy because he takes a half turn, he shoots on goal, so you got to go tight.
Second foul against the Comets. Perez will play it in. Looks out front for Hermes, but right there, Gary Collier. Collier overran it momentarily, but finally poked it back into goalkeeper Alan Mayer. Now Collier with it. Drops it back to Marhetic. Pato will dribble. Two of the best dribblers in this league going at it right now, Perez and Marhetic. Ball is chested up onto the Sockers bench by Marhetic, and we'll get a kick in coming up. San Diego will have it. Both teams will get some fresh legs out of the field. Shots on goal in the first quarter. San Diego out shooting Kansas City 9-7. Saves 5 for Alan Mayer, 1 for Zoltan Toth. Here's Dale Mitchell. 4 men back behind the ball for San Diego. Now Goosen's with it. Goosen's right-footed shot. Toth, the sliding save. He slid over to his right to pick that one off. And ahead comes Hugo Perez. Perez into the Kansas City zone. Goes wide, tries to get a shot away, blocked by Tim Clark. Volleyed out of there by Jens Busk of the Comets. And here comes Dale Mitchell on the run. Mitchell tripped up for the San Diego red line. Foul against Fernando Clavijo. That is the first foul of the quarter against the Sockers. Jens Busk. Boy, what an addition he has made here in the playoffs. Goosen's trying to back in outside the penalty area. Feeds out in front, looking for Jens Busk. Broken up by Fernando Clavijo, and Clavijo is running. Has Hermes with him. Feeds out in front, right there, Alan Mayer. Allen right-hands it out the right side to Jan Goosen. Comets will get a line change, so Goosen will hold it up at the midfield line. Feeds back to Jim Clark. Now Charlie Green. Comets trailing by 2. Mitchell feeds off the boards to Goossens. Knocked off the ball there by Namdar. There's Charlie Green. He has it poked away from him. Goossens squares up on Carlos Milian. Tries to go wide. The shot. Toth the stop. Milian feeds it out to Gene Wilrich, and the Sockers will counterattack. Long feed for Wilrich. He's open. Wilrich has Alan Mayer down, but he had to drag it to the near side boards. Great move by Alan Mayer that time, as he came out to challenge Gene Wilrich.
What a super pass by Branko Zagota.
And now Cacho taken down by Zagota. And the foul against Branko.
As you see here, the tackle by Zagota. He's come out with fire in his belly tonight, this Branko Zagota. He's going in for tackles. He's taking shots. He's setting up plays. At this point in time, he's just doing it all.
That had the ball well beyond Cacho. You saw him clip him with a leg. There's a shot by Cacho. Toth had trouble finding the handle. Finally tosses it out left side. And here comes Branko Zagota. Poked off the ball by Marhetic, but gets it back. Here's Zagota to Kevin Crow. He fires it out in front. Ladouceur knocks it to the near side boards. Zagota banging along with Clark and the referee, Marty Templin. It's finally cleared back into the midfield for George Catacolina. 9:50 to go, second quarter. Comets trailing 2-0. Goals by Branko Zagota, his third of the playoffs. And Gene Wilrich, number 2 in postseason play this year. Now Zagota squares up on Clark, feeds to Brian Quinn. Quinn dumps it off to Jacques Ladouceur, looking for a runner. Ladouceur finally plays it back across the midfield line. The complaint on the part of the coaching staff for San Diego was that San Diego in game number 3 just, I guess, abandoned the strategy. And that apparently some of the players took matters into their own hands, and it ended up costing the Sockers.
That's, again, was something that was being talked about a lot in the press this week, was what sort of system was San Diego playing. No one seemed to know what they were supposed to be doing out there.
And whose system it was.
Exactly.
The coach, some of the players. Here's Collier with it on the right side. Tries to feed in front, broken up. And here comes Branko Zagota. Moving 3-on-3. Zagota with Quinn and Catacolina. The shot blocked by Charlie Green. Julie V heads it down.
Super recovery there by Charlie Green.
Charlie, the Comets Iron Man, appearing in all 52 games. Well, what an addition he was. He has played all 4 positions on the field, including goalkeeper. They center it in front, diving, stopped by Alan Mayer on Carlos Milian, and Alan just shuffles it out to Pato Marhetic.
I must admit, Kevin, I was one of the ones questioning whether Charlie Green, a forward all his life, could have played in midfield, but he's answered any doubts that me or anybody else could have had about that.
Marhetic tripped up, sandwiched between Ladouceur and Wilrich. Third foul against San Diego. Comets still playing with confidence. Pretty obvious foul against Wilrich. 3 against the Sockers, 2 against Kansas City. Marhetic will play it in. Marhetic plays it out. He hit Frazier, right-footed drive. He scores, but they're saying no goal. A no-goal call by Herb Silva.
I can't wait to see what he called on this one, Kevin. It looked perfect to me.
They're ruling a pushing call. They move it upfield. Marhetic fed to Frazier, but they rule that Toth was knocked down by somebody.
If he was knocked down by anybody, Kevin, I want to know who by. I couldn't see anything wrong with that.
Here's Perez. Cutting it towards the D, knocked away. Here comes Marhetic on the run. Marhetic into the San Diego zone, run down from behind by Ladouceur, and that is the 4th foul against San Diego. This same officiating crew worked the game last night in Minnesota. And if I'm not mistaken, at least 1 goal was disallowed.
Very unusual, Kevin, in the indoor game, I think, for referees to give calls off the ball. In the outdoor game, it's something we see very often, but indoor is hardly ever called.
They're claiming that the foul against Goossens was off the ball. And now we get a whistle. And 2 players are going off right now. Jan Goossens will go off. somebody for San Diego.
Well, as we take a look at there, we have Milian putting pressure on Goossens. And Goossens actually does catch Milian on the ankle, and it was a foul. Again, nothing brutal about the foul at all, but he did catch his ankle.
So there's time out of the field. 7:18 to go second quarter. The Sockers 2. The Comets nothing. Back after this timeout. Leon collided. Goose pushing off. And they give Jan Goossens an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at 7:42.
And that's a tough 2-minute call, Kevin. I know he did look like he ended him off on there, but still, nothing bad about that. I think that the Comets can feel well justified, and they claim that that was not a 2-minute call.
Here come the Comets 2-on-1. Frazier back to Clark, but Hugo Perez comes back quickly for San Diego. 1:37 to go in the penalty. The Comets, I know, were not at all happy with that penalty. Julie V will quarterback.
It's very important, Kevin, that the Comets keep their head now. They've had 2 bad calls against them in the last couple of minutes of the game, and we've just got to forget about that and just get on with it. Nothing's going to change it.
Zoltan Toth at the other end with 1:13 to go. Feeds to Zagota. Now wide Hermaz on the left wing boards. Drops it back in the midfield for Branko Zagota. On the right side, it's Woolridge. Here's Perez with it. Chips it far side, looking for Juan Hermaz. Zagota back to Hermaz in the corner. Slides it in front. Tipped by Timmy Clark. Here's Perez with it just outside the D. Toth pokes it. Blocked up into the crowd by George Espinoza. And we'll get a kick into San Diego. 49 seconds to go in the penalty. Charlie Green, Dave Bonchek replace Clark and Frazier. Ball will be played in by Branko Zagota. Zagota feeds towards the corner for Woolridge. Back to Zagota. 47 seconds to go. Here's V pumping into the corner, looking for Woolridge, but he was moving the wrong way. Now Collier chips it into the San Diego zone, headed out by Toth. Nice play defensively by Zoltan Toth. Now here's Perez with some space. Outside the D, the shot wide of the net. And Woolridge was looking for the tip in. Here's Perez again to the D. Far side, Zagota. Branko Zagota crosses it near side. Woolridge, here's V, the shot, he scores! Julie V. And it is 3-0, San Diego.
San Diego shown a lot of patience pushing the ball around before Julie V actually before it was actually Woolridge that pushes it back to V, and he hit it, and if I'm not mistaken, that probably went through Alan Mayer's legs. And we'll take another look at it right here. Ball comes across from Zagota to Woolridge. He hits it, and actually goes through the legs of George Espinoza and Alan Mayer.
Well, Julie V had been held scoreless in Game 2. He had just 1 assist in Game 3. But Julie V is back with a goal here in Game 4. For Julie V, that is his first goal of the playoffs. 5:26 to go, second quarter. Kevin Crow kicks it out to Jacques Ladesseur. Ladesseur to Brian Quinn. Quinn bumps along with Goossens, who's out of the penalty box. And a foul against Jan Goossens. And that is 5 against Kansas City. And now we may have something else. We may have a warning, a bench warning against Kansas City.
As you take another look here, Kevin, I think you'll agree that that call could quite possibly have gone the other way. I mean, they were both doing the same thing. Both put their shoulders out, a collision. Unfortunate to go against the Goose.
And now we get a whistle, and let's see what we've got now. Marty Templin over, and a bench warning to San Diego. So a bench misconduct warning And Ron Newman grabbing his head as if to say, I can't believe it. You see him at the bottom of your screen in the dark jacket. Boy, the referees so far have really played a role in this game. Disallowing a goal. Now Goosens goes wide on Canacolitas. The shot kicked out by Toth. Deflected wide by Dale Mitchell. And here come the Sockers 2-on-1. Concho racing to get back. Here's Quinn. Holds up. Now takes a bump from Jens Boost. Into the corner. Namdar with it. Gotcha Namdar out front. To Quinn. He's far post. But right there, Alan Mayer. And again, Allen distributes left side. This time, Dale Mitchell against Canacolitas. He tries to chip it in over Toth. And we get a kick in. Coming up to Kansas City. Or a corner kick. They will put it on the corner spot. Comets, I think, wanted a handball against Zoltan Toth, but it appeared, at least from here, that he was inside the penalty area where that ball hit him on the, like the shoulder area.
It's a great try there by Dale Mitchell because Zoltan Toth did a great job of covering the angle of the goal, and the ball was over the top. But good reaction save by Zoltan Toth.
Game 5, if needed, Wednesday night at Kemper Arena. Hope you'll be there. Marhetic chips it off the glass out in front. Here's Mitchell trying to get a shot away. He was stopped. And the Sockers come running 3-on-2. Zagota bumping in the midfield. Feeds to Quinn. He shoots. He scores! Brian Quinn. And it is 4-0.
Branko Zagota doing the right thing, just playing on there. He did actually get fouled by Pavel Marhetic. Took a look over the shoulder, saw Quinn open, decided to make the pass and argue later. And that's a sign of a great professional. And of course, Brian Quinn just sticks that ball away tremendously. And if we take a look at it again, you'll see the knock by Pavel Marhetic. Well, they both help on each other, actually. Branko takes a little look back and then decides he sees Brian Quinn and opts for the right pass. Quinn hits it first time on the run, a very difficult ball to hit.
Tasso Kutsukas, near side to Espinoza. Now Marhetic on the dribble. Marhetic dishes it off far side to Tasso Kutsukas. Tasso feeds out in front. Bicas shoots. Kicked out by Toth. And the crowd here at the Sports Arena is excited now. Their Sockers lead the Comets 4-0. Espinoza feeds near side Marhetic. Leaves it for Collier. And now we're going to get a whistle of foul against Carlos Milian. That is 5 against San Diego. And now Toth pushing Milian back into the blocking wall.
Rightly so. There's no way you could leave one defender between the goal and the guy taking the kick.
Here's a shot by Marhetic. And it's a good thing Milian was there. Long toss by Zoltan Toth. Knocked down by Espinoza. Milian keeps it alive. Now Espinoza has it. Feeds back to Kutsukas. 3:21 to go in the first half. Tasso Kutsukas knocks it to the corner. Ties up with Milian. Feeds off the boards to Marhetic. Marhetic taken down by Wilrich, but here comes San Diego again. Boy, they love to counterattack. Perez. Far side, Ladisher feeds in front of shot. Oh, what a save by Alan Mayer on Gene Wilrich. Spectacular save by Alan Mayer.
Tremendous save by Allen. That's a good education there for any young goalkeeper, how a goalkeeper spreads himself as wide as he possibly can when he was coming out for that ball.
Now Goosens in the corner against Milian. Plays it back to Tim Clark. Clark, right-footed shot, blocked by Ian Frazier. Charlie Green banks it out in front. Oh, it was tipped by Milian. Otherwise, Ian Frazier was looking for the loose ball. Now Goosens to Charlie Green on the left side. Still in the San Diego zone. Here's Clark's shot just wide of the goal, and it was dangerously close to that post. Timmy Clark scored the first Comets goal in Game 2. Looking for another one there. Down to 2:07 to go in the second quarter. San Diego on top 4-0. All headed down by Ian Frazier, controlled by Goosens. Now here's Tim Clark with it. Clark right puts it near side to Ian Frazier. On the right side, it's Green. Ford passing ahead to Dale Mitchell. Mitchell squares up, moves into the San Diego zone. Works his way past Crow. He fired it wide. Rebounds to Goossens. Goossens, the shot blocked by Mealy. And rebounds in front. Fired wide by Dale Mitchell. And the foul against Kansas City for a handball. That will be number 6. And a 2-minute call coming up to Kansas City.
As we take a look at the replay, Kevin, it was Jan Goossens trying to feed the ball in for Dale Mitchell. The ball bounces up, and then Mitch actually takes the shot and hits Charlie Green's knee and goes wide of the net.
So the Comets down by 4. While we have a moment, why don't we pause for stations along our network to identify themselves on the Comets network.
Kansas City defense penalty for 6 fouls in the period to be served by number 8, Jan Goossens. Time of the penalty, 13 minutes, 24 seconds.
Well, as if the problems were not enough for Kansas City. Now another 2-minute call in San Diego with just 1:33 to go in the first half. Have a chance to go up 5-0. They lead already 4-0. Here's V dumping it towards the corner. We get a whistle and a foul. Dangerous play against Tim Clark. And a 2-minute call against Tim Clark. He apparently said something. And a yellow card comes out of the pocket of Herb Silva.
We talked a little bit earlier, Kevin, about when being under pressure like that, about keeping our heads and keeping our cool. We're 4-0 down. We can't let this game get away from us. We proved in the last game that when we were down a few goals, if we don't let the game get away, we can still remain in it.
Dissent the call. So it is Goossens and Clark in. Time of the penalties, 13:37.
What hurts, Kevin, is that, that 2-minute call being for dissent. You don't like to get that in this situation.
A 5-on-3 advantage. They've got Perez open in the box, but the ball deflected, headed by Espinoza. Now we're going to get a foul against Gary Collier for kicking Juan Hermes in the behind. Here it is again. I think this more of a frustration foul than anything else. Hermes heading it and taking a swat in the behind by Gary Collier. And then I think very dangerously close to another 2-minute card. Zagota up top to Julie V. We'll give you the game clock. A minute to go. Here's the shot by Zagota and the save by Alan Mayer. Now 56 seconds to go. Allen can throw it across 3 lines if he wants, and he does. Normally that is an offense against Kansas City, and the free kick would come back to the red line. But because the Comets are 2 men short, they can clear it without penalty across 2 lines in the air. Again, 3 lines, I should say, in the air. Collier with it. Knocking along the boards with Juan Hermes. Poked away. Here's Zagota with it. Looking for a runner. Comets have to be careful. Hermes the shot. Oh, and what a save by Alan Mayer. And he just covers up with a loose ball. 22 seconds to go. And the Comets dump it over 2 lines. 3 lines, I should say. Comets 2 men short. Now 13 seconds to go. Into the corner. Here's Julie V. Near side, the shot by Perez, and again the sliding save by Alan Mayer. So the Comets will have 25 seconds remaining in the penalty to Jan Goossens for being served by Goossens. 38 seconds to Tim Clark. We'll come back with our halftime show right after this timeout. V. All of the veteran players, they've needed big games from those players, and they are getting them.
That's right, Kevin. That's why San Diego is always so very, very dangerous, because we always know that these players, sure, they can have off days, but they're capable of turning around on a minute's notice.
Obviously, the Kansas City Comets have lost composure just a tad. The dissent penalty to Tim Clark. These are things that you just can't have happen in a game like this, an important game.
Yeah, and the important thing, Kevin, is not to get down about it, because the Ian Fraser goal that got pulled back, that would have made it 3-1. It was a off-the-ball call, which is rather unusual, I think, for indoor soccer. At that point, the game's 3-1, and we got a chance to come back into the game.
Well, you know, Kansas City and San Diego, they've met before. There have been some real Donnybrooks between these two teams. And this Game 4, remember, Game 5 would come up on Wednesday night at Kemper Arena. Tickets will be on sale tomorrow and throughout the week at the Kemper Arena box office and at all the Capital ticket outlets. So get your tickets early for what could well be Game 5 at Kemper Arena on Wednesday night. No television, but we'll have it for you along the Comets Radio Network. Well, up next, a look at the Comets team captain, a man who's not participating tonight, but he's here, and the Comets look to him for leadership, Gino Schiraldi.
Comets team captain Gino Schiraldi isn't playing tonight. He's nursing a bad hamstring. But many wouldn't have expected Gino to do as much as he has. Many doubted Gino would have a long career in the MISL, but Gino took a dogged determination and work ethic into the job at hand and has been named Comets Defensive Player of the Year on 3 occasions and added an all-star berth to his resume last year.
A lot of people have doubted me, you know, but I'm a strong believer in going out and proving people wrong, and I've proven people wrong in my soccer profession right now, and hopefully I want to do that in the pizza business.
Gino hopes the same things that turned him into one of the best at soccer will push his pizza business in downtown Kansas City over the top.
Yeah, you know, I'm a strong believer in giving it all I got. If you know, on the soccer field and off the soccer field. And, you know, this is a new adventure for me, this pizza shop. It's something I always wanted to do. And, you know, I want to make it go. And I believe the only way to make it go is to be here. You know, I've got my name on the building. And, yeah, I'm going to be around the place when time permits. You know, soccer is my livelihood right now. That's the #1 thing I do. When any type of free time I've got, I'm down here in the shop, and I'm always with the customers, asking them how's the pizza or the sandwiches or whatever, and just be sociable with them.
Gino does it all. He plays rugged defense, makes pizza, performing even the most menial jobs, whatever it takes to make it work.
We got swamped on deliveries. I had to go out and help my delivery boy make deliveries, and knocked on this one door out in the northeast section, which is the Italian section. Knocked on the door, and a 12, 13-year-old girl answers the door, and here I am standing with my pizza, and she yells back to her mom in the kitchen. She says, "Ma, it's Gino Schiraldi," and you could hear her mom like coming towards the door, but I couldn't see her yet because of their hallway, the way it was designed. But she goes, "Gino doesn't deliver pizzas." Just as she finished her last sentence, she goes, "Oh my God, it is Gino." And I mean, she drags me in. She wanted me to stay for dinner. I just couldn't stay for dinner. I had to get back to the shop. But they find it, and then the same thing happened. Next week, the same lady called and asked, personal requested that I deliver a pizza out there.
Gino has a reputation around the league for occasionally being just a tad bit of a dirty player. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. But that's something that Gino leaves on the field.
I'm not a dirty player. You know, there are times where I've been caught on the field being a dirty player, but when it comes to my pizza business, I believe in cleanliness, and the health department was in here the other day, and they wanted me to wear a hairnet. I refused, so I borrowed Alan Mayer's helmet. So I will put this helmet on when I make pizza, so the health department won't hassle me about it.
Overcoming the odds is Gino's specialty. It's a role he handles easily.
Special thanks to John Hart for that report on Comets team captain Gino Schiraldi. Joining me now is Comets president Tim Lewicki. And Tim, obviously a disappointing start to this game. The Comets down at this point 4-0. And as we were talking with Clyde Griffiths, the veteran players for San Diego really coming through. Kansas City far from out of it. A lot of soccer still to play.
Yeah, we haven't played that poorly, but unfortunately the referees are really taking us out of the game with the penalty calls. I'm still not quite certain what happened with the Ian Fraser shot, but I think the bottom line is we can't get into a pace that we need to play to win this game because of the penalties, and I certainly think the referees are not going to help us tonight. So I think we got to come out the second half and do it ourselves.
All right, Tim, stand by. We'll come back with more from the Sports Arena in San Diego, but first this timeout. Now 4-0. Brian Quinn from Broncos Agoda at 10:45. And we'll come back with more halftime activities when we return on the Comets Television Network. Halftime statistics. 19 for San Diego, 13 for Kansas City in the shots on goal, and really the telling tale, I think, Alan Mayer, 10 saves in the first half and 6 for Zoltan Toth. Outstanding goalkeeping for Kansas City, despite the fact that it is 4-0 San Diego.
I think at this point in time, Kevin, the Comets have named the game. It's got to be patience, patience, patience. The tendency is to want to come out and maybe start throwing your weight around, but you get into that with San Diego, and they're going to get you on the counterattack. So we've got to do exactly what we did in Game 3. That's be patient, keep control of the ball, and the chances will come.
All right, joining us now is Comets president Tim Lewicki again. And Tim, obviously this is very much a civic affair for Kansas City. The Comets in the playoffs. I know while we've been out here on the West Coast all week, we've received gifts, flowers, telegrams from some of the folks back home in Kansas City. And I know the players, the coaching staff, the staff around the team very much appreciative of these gestures from many, many fans throughout the Kansas City area.
Yeah, I think the players in particular really appreciated it. And whether it's Game 5 or the third game in the Tacoma series, I think the important thing now is we really want people to come out to Kemper Arena. We have a pretty good, well-tooled machine, but we got to plug it in and give it the juice, and the fans are our juice. And if we have to go back home for a fifth game, I think what we really need at this point is people to come out and support this team, and we'd like a really good crowd there because we're going to need them. This is a great San Diego team, and we need everything that we could get to beat these guys. They are the champions. They've been the champions for 5 years. We need to have the seventh man behind us. We need a good crowd at Kemper.
And yet, around the Major Indoor Soccer League, teams have had trouble drawing for the first round of the playoffs. Yet I think when you look at this playoff series and you look at the intensity, this could well be, and I think a lot of people believe this might be the final series of the Major Indoor Soccer League Championship playoffs, because many people believe the winner of this series will go on to perhaps win it all.
Yeah, I think these two teams are playing as well as anybody, and that's why this fifth game is real critical. If we have to go to a fifth game, I think the key is whoever wins that game certainly is going to go in with a lot of emotional advantage into the next series against Tacoma. So again, if it's Wednesday night and we go to Game 5, we want a full crowd out there. There are a lot of tickets left. They could go to the Cats outlets, and if not, then we'll see everybody on Sunday of next week, and that will be Game 3 of the Tacoma Kansas City series.
All right, the tickets are on sale. Where can they pick up tickets? I know we talk a lot about the Capital Ticket outlets, and I think a lot of people maybe for one reason or another don't know where the Capital Ticket outlets are.
They could go to any Jones store, Crown Center, they could go to the Seventh Heavens, or they could go to Kemper Arena. There's a box office down there. If there's any confusion, all they have to do is call 421-7770. That's the Comets number, and we'll set them straight. And we want everybody to come out on Wednesday night if we need that game, and if not, we'll see you on Sunday. But let's push our Comets on and help us be that seventh man.
Win, lose, or draw, we are going to have some sort of a rally out at KCI tomorrow as the team arrives home at 12:30. Explain how that came about.
Well, I think after the game on Tuesday night, it was one of the greatest comeback victories in the history of the MISL. One of the local radio stations, KY102, came to us and said they wanted to do a rally at the airport. The fact of the matter is, we've come out here and split. We've done something no other team, with the exception of one, has ever done. We beat San Diego on their home turf. So if we have to go to 5, the rally will be a great motivational boost for the players into Game 5. And if we don't go to Game 5 and we win tonight, that's a fitting tribute to the effort of a team to come out here and beat them back-to-back, which has never been done in the history of the San Diego franchise.
You know, we've seen throughout this week, both for the game on Tuesday and for the game tonight, a lot of fans from Kansas City following this team throughout the playoffs here in San Diego. I think that, again, a testimony not only to the great job the Comets Connection Booster Club has done, but just fandom in general in Kansas City. They have really rallied around the Comets.
Yeah, we're real proud of our fans. They've supported us all year long, and I think we have to pay a fitting tribute to them, and I couldn't think of a better tribute than to go ahead and win this series against against San Diego. They've beaten us pretty solidly for 6 years straight, and this is the year we really have a good chance, whether it be the 5th game or tonight, to put an end to that reign, and I think that's the best gift we could give to our fans for their support.
San Diego Soccer's a big ovation for them as they return to the field. The 5-time indoor champions. And Tim, I guess you just had to realize that when you came into this 4th game, everybody was writing in the newspapers. They were crying, saying, well, it's the end of a dynasty. But the fact is, you knew that the veteran players